Hello students, today we will discuss about the calculation of consumable goods. How in NPOs there may be some consumable goods like foodstuffs, medicines, sports material, postage, stationery, etc. How the calculation of the consumable goods is to be done. A very simple formula is there, and that is purchase of the consumable goods made during the year, add to that the opening stock and less closing stock. That will give you the amount to be shown in the income and expenditure account. However, there may be sometimes it depends on the information also that how it is to be produced. So in an income and expenditure account, the very first item to consumable goods consumed will appear on the expenditure side. First of all, the payment made during the year is to be mentioned. Whatever payment has been made during the year regarding that consumable goods, it may be stationery, it may be postage, it may be medicine, it may be sports material. So whatever item is there, so payment regarding that particular item, deduct from that the opening creditors. You see the opening creditors, definitely the creditors are related with the previous year, and that's why it is given in the opening balance of the creditor is given. Definitely those creditors will belong to the previous year, so it should be deducted from the current year accounting. Then add opening advance to the suppliers. Opening advance to the suppliers, definitely the advance which has been given to the suppliers, and that is in the beginning of the year, definitely it will be related, it can be related with the current year itself. Then add closing creditors, because the closing creditors are related with the current year only. However, the payment will be made next year. Then less closing advance to the supplier. The closing advance to the suppliers, because that advance is related with the next year, so it should be deducted from the current year's calculation. All of this, these things will give you the purchase of consumable goods during the year, and simply what we have discussed above. Add to that the opening stock and less closing stock. That will give you the amount which has to be shown in the income and expenditure account. Alternatively, there may be another method, and that is that may be an account form. You see, if we are going to follow the account form, we have to prepare two types of accounts: creditors for the consumable goods account and the stock of consumable goods account. You see, as far as the creditors for consumable goods account is concerned, first of all, to balance brought down opening advance to the supplier. If any advance to the supplier has been given, and definitely it is an asset, so it will be shown, or the balance will be shown on the debit side. Then the closing advance to the supplier, just to the another side, it will be shown on the credit side, just opposite to the debit side. Then by balance brought down opening creditors being a liability, the balance will be put there on the credit side. The opening creditors will be put here on the credit side, and the balance carried down regarding the closing creditors will be put there on the debit side. In between both the balances of the advance to the supplier and closing creditors to bank, that is the creditors for consumable goods account debited to bank. Whatever the payment has been made for this, the entry will be creditors for consumable goods account to bank account. The payment made for the consumable goods during the year, that will be put. So from this total of the debit side, if you will deduct the credit side total, you will get by stock of consumable goods, and that will be a balancing figure. So this balancing figure of the stock of consumable goods can be transferred to the stock of consumable goods account. First of all, in the stock of consumable goods account, the opening balance will be here. The opening balance and the closing balance will be put there on the credit side. So whatever transfer has been made from the creditors for consumable goods account, that can be transferred to the two creditors for consumable goods in the stock of consumable goods account. And on the credit side, remaining will be the balancing figure by income and expenditure account. This amount is to be shown in the income and expenditure account. So both the forms, in an account form or directly in the income and expenditure account, it can be shown. That's all.